how do I plan my standards into my PBL? My name is Ryan Stoyer and welcome to PBL Simplified, designed to answer your PBL need-to-knows to help you simplify the PBL process in your classroom. Today's need-to-know is how do I bring standards into my PBL? Standards have to be in your PBL. They have to be beefy, they have to be the meaty ones that are really important. If you don't have any standards in your PBL, then you can fit it in nowhere into your curriculum map. It's already packed. So we have to look at where does a PBL fit and what kind of standards can we put into a PBL. I like to talk about it this way. You've got a couple different standards and not all standards are created equal. We've got to start there. The standards for haikus in poetry, which is a standard, is not as equal to or as beefy as argumentative writing. Can we see both of those? If your learners master haikus, that's wonderful. It's a part of your standards. But if they master argumentative writing, they can cite sources, they can write transition sentences, they can structure a paper well, they know how to critically think about a topic. Do you see how beefy this one is? And this one maybe takes a couple of days in your curriculum plan, and argumentative writing likely takes a week or two, or maybe it's spiraled throughout. But you probably don't spiral throughout haikus all the way through your year. So that's what we're trying to look at. We're trying to find those beefy standards that you're going to engage in more than a day or two. Because your PBL project is going to be multiple weeks. So when you say multiple weeks, you've got to look at that as a budget. Right? You aren't going to be able to say after 184 days, say, hey guys, you know what? I've got a couple extra standards. I need you to come back to 185 days. Give me one more day and we'll be good. No, you'll be by yourself, right? You'll be in an empty classroom. So you've got to be able to look at that budget and bring PBL in without breaking the budget. So use your budget on those things that are hefty, your beefy standards. So it might be argumentative writing. It might be biology. It might be earth science. So pick out the big beefy standards to start to build your project around, and that way you know when you're using that time, you're not wasting that time or you're not giving it away. So when you looked at your standards, go through your standards. Maybe it's in a big binder, maybe it's in your notebook, maybe they're all online. Maybe you've done the great work of finding your power standards. Start to wrap your PBL around those power standards or those critical standards that you already have within your school or within your district. It's really good work, so you should build on it. So the first step to planning your PBL is to figure out which standards you want to address and engage during that PBL. So today we simplified how to bring standards into your PBL. If you still don't have the PBL planning sheet, I think you can click right here and you'll see it's a PBL Simplified planning sheet. And it is going to be simplified to those 4 things for planning a PBL. It's going to be your standards, your community partner, your end product, and your 21st century skill. And once we've got that wrapped up, your PBL's moving. You're going to be able to engage your learners, tackle boredom, and transform your classroom.